What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I am Love Coach Scott Katamas, and we have a really fun show for you tonight. Periodically, we like to introduce you to the next generation of wisdom keepers, new leaders that are doing wonderful things in the world. And these are always some of my favorite shows. And so tonight, in no specific order, you are going to be meeting Roxanne Ruby. And you're going to be reading Jackie Knapp, who I just met, by the way. We just met Jackie when Omar Shah and I were in Santa Fe. She was at the Evolutionary Leaders Circle. And so that was really fun. And then you're also going to meet Tarek Bibi, who is also known as the Indigo Prophet. And we're also going to see a brand new premiere of one of his videos. As always, we are going to start the show with wonderful music with our house musical artist, Omar Shah. And I also want to welcome all of our friends watching on Facebook and YouTube. Big thanks to John and Summer Raymer with the Sign Network who get us out there. Take it away, beloved Omar Shah.
I shall. Good evening, everybody. And last Wednesday, we were broadcasting from Santa Fe. And this song, I started last week, and it was distorting through so much because I wasn't watching the meters on the volume control, and so I'm going to sing it again now. And it's called "Still We Wonder Why," and the title has a double entendre. Still meaning in the stillness is where the wonder is, and of course, still we wonder why. And so, without further ado, let's see how it sounds once I turn all my thingies on. And here we go. Brighter than the sun. Here where life is one. All the past falls like rain into the soil of future dreams. The footprint in the sand silently so clear, and we know what has to be done, and still we wonder why flowers keep on blooming, the stardust in our eyes lifts us all to a higher plane, a deeper truth, our rightful place, and still we wonder why. Life, a promise to fulfill. Now, a vision is revealed, and the blessing of who we really are can be felt throughout our world, and still we wonder why flowers keep on blooming, the stardust in our eyes lifts us all to a higher plane, a deeper truth, our rightful place, and still we wonder why. Lights brighter than the sun, here where life is one. Love, the footprint in the sand. Eyes shining like the stars, and the way is silently so clear. What has to be done, and still we wonder why flowers keep on blooming, the stardust in our eyes lifts us all to a higher plane, a deeper truth, a rightful place, and still we wonder why. Life, a promise to fulfill.
Thank you, thank you. Let's send some love and appreciation to our beloved. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
And this time it played and sounded great, although there was a little blip, a little silent moment for about 2 seconds.
Ooh, where it distorted a bit.
No, no, didn't destroy. It just went silent for 2 seconds.
Unbelievable. It was getting into the stillness. Anyway,
That's right. It was reminding us to have that of a moment of stillness where we could all take a breath and then continue to appreciate, the music's coming back. It's only a 2 second
exactly.
blip.
Thank you, beloved brother.
Thank you. Oh, we're sure we'll be back with two more songs. Well, I'm really excited to introduce all three of our people today. And our first guest is a friend of mine named Roxanne Ruby. And Roxanne, I met in Nevada City. And honestly, I had the pleasure of performing a hand fasting ceremony for her and her beloved a few years ago, which was a very beautiful experience. And she has an amazing little son. But she's also doing some really wonderful work. And when I saw this new organization that she started, I immediately thought, oh, I really want to introduce her to our audience because I knew that all of you would really appreciate what she's doing. I'm going to read a little bit about it. Um, family is at the forefront for her, which is beautiful, but she is dedicated to the liberation of human consciousness. And that is true. I've known Roxanne well enough to know that is very, very true. She's a devoted wife, mother, dedicated to nurturing her loved ones while weaving the threads of ritual and purpose into daily lives. She's quite a producer. She produces amazing events. She also is a medicine woman and very rooted in earth-based traditions. She has a deep reverence for indigenous cultures, which allows her to rehydrate ancestral memory and infuse contemporary life with philosophies of peace and well-being that she's brought back from her indigenous elders and wisdom. In essence, she blends ancient wisdom with modern strategies, and she loves guiding individuals and communities towards transformative experiences. I'm going to put all this in the chat box, but you can learn more at her name, roxanneruby.com. But we're also going to hear about her brand new organization, the Inheritance Collective. So, welcome to the Awakening World, Roxanne. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Scott. I'm so honored to be here. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
Awesome. Well, happy solstice, everybody. This has been such a potent portal, and it feels like a very auspicious time to be coming on here and tuning in with so many awakened beings from all over the world. Just to dive right in, as I know we have limited time and a few other amazing presenters today. The organization that I'm here to share with you about is called Inheritance Collective. And this came through from a deeply seated intention and a prayer to respond to the suffering of the world that we see, and a real curiosity for how to respond to the state of the world, and to do so in a way that is innovative and tangible. I found myself last year, especially as a mother, wondering what it is that we can do to really move the marker in meaningful and measurable ways towards the beautiful world that we know is possible in our hearts. And there's so many amazing organizations doing such incredible work. Yet at the same time, one of the barriers that I noticed we continue to keep coming up against as like a new age movement is financial. There's all these initiatives, people, organizations, nonprofits doing beautiful work. However, oftentimes where they're kind of short circuiting is a lack of resource and support in that regard to make it happen, whatever that may be, to protect the waters, to protect culture, to create safe houses for women and children, and ultimately to create peace and to care for that which we've been given. So I spent a lot of time last year really sitting in that question. And as Scott mentioned, I'm a mystic and a strategist. And so when I am sitting with a curiosity, or when I'm consciously in a contemplation, which is a practice that I really go to regularly, is intentional contemplation. I'm always thinking about like the mystical, magical side of things, and very much the strategy of it. And so I found myself in that contemplation last year of like, how can we respond? How can we move the marker? And at the time, I was working in a garden down here in Costa Rica. And the word that arrived to me as I was gardening and listening to this inquiry was inheritance. Came through like as if I'd heard somebody spoke it, but I think we've all had that experience where we just like get a message that speaks right to our soul. And I heard this word inheritance, and part of me was like, okay, like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm not expecting any kind of real inheritance. I don't know like how that can fuel the change that we wish to see in the world. And so I just kept sitting with it. And after a few days, what came through was that the nature that we see all around us, the clean water, the fresh air, the gardens growing, our children, our elders. I live with my grandfather as well, my 88-year-old grandfather. That is our inheritance. That's what we've been given. That's the true wealth beyond any dollar amount. That is the wealth and the prosperity that we've been given, the fortune, really, that we've been given to steward. And also, in addition to that, the wisdom from our own lineage and from these wisdom traditions around the world that, especially at this time, are generously passing their knowledge that they've been safeguarding for generations forward. So we're at this really ripe moment of being given so much. And with that gift comes the responsibility for how we're going to care for that inheritance that we've been passed. And then also what we're going to pass forward onto the next generation to be able to bestow upon them, hopefully a better, even better reality than what we've inherited, and more peace and more opportunity and more appreciation for the gift of life and more ways to care for especially the natural world that we all share and call home. And so I felt very inspired. And then the strategy arrived of like, okay, well, what do we do to take care of this inheritance? That is the goal, of course. And I'm a community builder, always have been, always will be. I love bringing people together online, in person, in all kinds of different ways, ceremony to celebration. I love gathering humans. So the natural progression was to create a collective. And so we arrived at Inheritance Collective. It was about a 9-month gestation with a very small team of asking ourselves how it is that we can be a part of making this measurable change. And for me, one of the qualities that felt very important was simplicity, and that we move like nature moves, and we really grow roots, and that we create a collective that can demonstrate the power of what happens when we come together, and to really exemplify that beautiful quote that when a small group of people can change the world, in fact, it is the only thing that ever has. However, in this case, the goal is not to be too small of a group, because the business plan here is to be able to create financial resources for projects and initiatives around the globe, specifically in regards to cultural and ecological preservation and regeneration, and to raise money through a mass population uniting and just contributing a little bit and showing that if we all put in a little bit of effort, and if we all make these micro choices on a daily basis or on a monthly basis in this case, then when we combine those efforts, we can have some serious gravity as a united group. And so the plan with Inheritance Collective is a monthly membership. It's $22 a month. And we pool those resources, and then we decide as a collective where we put them. And so we demonstrate that, like, you don't have to be a billionaire to save the planet. You just take a small portion of your monthly spend and you put it together. But when we all combine our resources, then we can support projects that we want to see have wind under their wings. And this first season has been such a beautiful success. We've grown to be 100 members, which the vision is much bigger than that. When the garden gave me the blueprint, it's 1 million members. And at $22 a month, 1 million people united, which is only 0.2% of the whole United States. And this is an international movement. It would yield $22 million a month to support whatever cause we want to put this behind, you know. Right now, in our first season, we've raised $3,000 for the Guatemalan Midwives Project, which is an initiative of lineage carrying Indigenous women at Lago Atitlan in Guatemala that are safeguarding the wisdom of sacred birth keeping and traditional midwifery and womb care. And they're building a birthing sanctuary to be able to serve their local community and the global community to come to Guatemala and to learn about how to care for the origins of life. And they don't just support the birth, they support everything from the family unit to conception, all the prenatal care, the birth itself, and postpartum. They're very integrated into the whole cycle of bringing life in and of supporting life on the other side as well in the death portal. And so we've had the privilege to work hand in hand with these Guatemalan nanas and to learn from them and study from them. We have them, we also offer classes and content because meanwhile, we're contributing financially. We also want to serve our members to be able to have some reciprocity and benefit through all kinds of lessons from dance classes to sign language to learning from the indigenous grandmas to learning how to make respectful alliance with native people. We've had Charles Eisenstein on a few times. I feel like there's really a connection between the way that you host this show, Scott, and the way that I've been showing up with Inheritance Collective. I feel really inspired by your leadership here, and yeah, it's been a huge success just within this first season to demonstrate that together we're possible of making great change, and looking forward to gathering more in person. We're actually going to do a pilgrimage in September with Ayla Nerio, who also is a dear friend of Scott, and she's part of the movement. And we're going to do a pilgrimage to the lake, to Lago Atitlan, and go be with the nanas. And so we're not only raising money for the birth temple, but we're going to go and bring a small group to also study with them and be with them and learn from their culture and learn these traditions and be able to have that exchange of culture and wisdom. Yeah, and the next step is the bees. We felt like it was a natural progression to move from the waters and the womb to the pollinators and the bees. And right now, I don't know if y'all know, but our bee population is sadly severely compromised. There's a die-off of millions of colonies happening. And it's, for me, one of the greatest tragedies of our time. And not only a tragedy, but actually something that we should all be talking about much more, because if we don't have the bees, then that's going to seriously compromise and jeopardize our food system, which already is so deeply jeopardized. So we want to support the bees. And as a collective, we are searching for the bee organization that can be the recipients of the funds that we raise. And we have a few conversations happening, but we haven't landed on the one. So maybe someone here knows of an amazing grassroots, boots on the ground, bee supporting organization that our collective can come and get behind. And of course, at this point, I mean, we're stronger as we grow. You're all invited to be a part of the initiative. You get access to so much beautiful content and amazing humans. And again, it's just $22 a month, and 60% of that goes into the impact fund. The rest goes to support guest teachers and our very small team of 5 people that are doing all the admin and management and everything. And it'd be a pleasure to have you and to be able to weave back and forth. And then the more capacity we have, the more numbers we have, the more capacity we have. And I'm looking forward to having it be like, you know, we can write $100,000 check as an organization to a beekeeper that's protecting the bees, or the grandmothers in Guatemala, or the seed savers in Norway. Like, the projects that have already come across our table are really exciting. And right now, the initiative is to continue to offer amazing gifts to our community, to build the community, and then to find the right aligned organizations to be able to support. Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Beautiful. We're going to go to your website in a moment, but there's a question from Susan Bloomquist for you, Roxanne.
Yeah.
She asks, will you be cataloging or chronicling or keeping the traditions in any way? Cataloging the solutions and some of the old ways of supporting nature.
Yeah, we are. It's always a delicate dance to catalyze these teachings, because many of the indigenous people that I've worked with, it's primarily oracular. So there's a delicate nature to recording. However, they've been super open. They've done 2 live classes with us that are recorded and translated. Well, one we didn't translate, one's all in Spanish, but we're working with the Spanish community as well. But the other one is translated, and we're going to bring them back another time and have all that. That's all in the school catalog that we have for our members, those recordings. And then when we go to the lake, we're also going to be getting more really amazing quality video and photos and telling their story. And I mean, for me, especially with them, I'm very as much a student of birth keeping and midwifery, and looking forward to continue to work with them and record what's appropriate to be recorded. And I'm a storyteller and a producer and a filmmaker, so it is my nature to want to archive these things, and learning with each individual person how to do that in a graceful and appropriate way.
Well, you're already getting some recommendations. Susan Bluequist put it in the chat box, an organization she knows called healingbees.org.
Yes.
So there you go. And Christine and Damien in Arizona also have some options. So they'll be there for you. Whoops, you switched side. We need you to, there you go. Also, our wonderful, one of our regulars, Roxanne, is the wild monk of the Mystic Monastery, Jerry Anderson. And Jerry writes that he lived 4 months in Guatemala and went to that lake, Aditan, after the big earthquake. He was a medical volunteer there where 27,000 people passed away after the earthquake in 1976. So he has a much longer history from quite a while ago, but there's a connection there. We are going to take a look at 2 websites. The most important one probably right now, based on what we're talking about, is the Inheritance Collective, which,
Yeah, I think just focus on that one.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
And
The other one's my personal one, and people can reach out to me personally if you have any questions. You can also find me on Instagram if that works, or reach out through my website as well.
as soon as I heard about this, I joined, and am on for the $22 a month. And I really encourage everybody, please join. Just go to inheritancecollective.love. For everybody watching on Facebook and YouTube, I'm going to say that again slowly, or you can take a screenshot. Inheritancecollective.love. And you can learn more about what they're doing, and then just click here, join the movement. And that takes you to where you can join, $22 a month. And it's a great dedication. And I have Roxanne on here because I believe in her very, very much. She's the real deal. She's truly an example of a new leader for an awakening world. And I want for us all to support her. So let's please do that. We are going to have a roundtable conversation. So we're going to meet our other 2 presenters. Then we'll take a little break for music and Global Peace Tribe announcements. And then we will have a roundtable conversation to answer questions. So if you have questions for Roxanne or the other presenters, mark them down, maybe send them to Diara or myself. Roxanne, we will look forward to connecting with you in a little bit. Well, our next guest actually has been on the show before, and he reached out to me and let me know that he had a new video, which we are going to play in a moment. Tarek, it looks like you're on your phone. Can you put it sideways so we can get the complete you as opposed to just a thinner version of you? And I need you to unmute. You need to unmute.
Can you hear me okay?
Now we can, absolutely.
Yep.
And if you flip your phone sideways, we'll see much more of you.
Can you use the other one where I'm using my laptop? It seems to be working fine now.
Okay, so there you are. I didn't realize that there were 2 of you. So there you, oh,
Do I sound okay here?
yeah, there we go.
Excellent.
I just went to the first Tarek that I saw. I didn't realize that your twin brother was with us as well.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys. Been having some technical difficulties, but we're here and we're launching the home video. I performed it last week or last time with Carrie. And today we're going to share the actual music video, and it's a song about feeling at home.
Just before you play it, or before we play it, I want to tell people a little bit about you. He is a cosmic warrior. He also is known as the Indigo Prophet. And his mission is simple and sacred: to help all of us believe in ourselves, to work with the inner child, finally feeling empowered and confident and free, to help the light warriors that all of us are, aligning with our divine gifts and abilities and thriving from them, to help us to reclaim our infinite freedom, empowerment, and sovereignty. He is indeed a cosmic warrior. And before you play the video, share with people a little bit more about the services that you provide.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate this beautiful community and the opportunity to reach this audience. And so 15 years dedicated to holding space for amazing, conscious, spiritual women and a handful of amazing men to heal core traumas from childhood, past lives, ancestral. And through alchemizing those traumas through my infinity healing technique that I've developed, and it's one of the fastest result-based modalities out there. People are experiencing their 10K months, 100K months from claiming their value, charging their worth, getting their gifts out there, healing those witch hunt wounds of not feeling safe to be fully seen. It's our time to shine. And I'm here as your cheerleader, your coach, your healer, the loving nurturer, but also like the Aries warrior, nudging you out of your comfort zone all in one. And I'm a conscious rap artist. I've got 5 albums online. Each song has healing in it. It's all been channeled. It's words that we can relate to. So it's songs and poems, medicine songs, and they're all available under Indigo Prophet.
Beautiful. All right, well, I'm going to play the video. Do you want to, oh, it started automatically. Do you want to introduce a little bit, anything you want to say about it before I play it?
Yes, so I feel like the parasitic class are attacking our collective root chakra. So if anyone's been feeling unsafety, uncertainty, scarcity, lack, survival, how will we make it out of this reset? This song was channeled. An artist's job is to tap into the collective and to create the remedy. So for me, the song Home is the remedy for all of that. And we sent a lot of prayers, invocations, intentions into the song so that when we heal it from the root upwards, we're feeling safe, we're feeling anchored, we're feeling grounded. We shot it here in beautiful Costa Rica, where I feel like home, and I haven't felt at home in many places, being a nomad for 15 years. But like, it's more than a place, it's a feeling within ourselves. It's coming back to that place within that is home. So I do some rap songs there. We included as many people as we could from the Envision Fest, and we included the sacred rivers here in the Cheripo mountain, 2 hours north of Ovita, where Envision Fest happens.
All right, here we go. Thank you, Tarek.
Welcome.
Home, I am home. I found a place to heal my soul. It is right here. We are right here. Between the hills, the stars, the sun, the river so clear, the river so clear.
Psychedelic fun guys got me having fun times. I'll be doing deep dives, closing both of these eyes. Now we finally realize we control our own minds. After every sunset there will be a sunrise. Remember where you come from, fear no need to run from. Following the natural flow and beat of our own drums. We shall overcome, not succumb to these dum-dums. And no one can win until we have all won.
Home, I am home. I found a place to heal my soul. It is right here. We are right here. Between the hills.
blessed and highly favored. Burning to the sage and reading sacred pages. Choosing what is safest can be overrated. Regardless of these obstacles, I know that we can make it. We are different races, come from different places. Ready for the next evolutionary stages. Mastering the basics, embracing what we're faced with. Elevate, activate, remember you are sacred.
Home, I am home. I found a place to heal my soul. It is right here. We are right here. Between the hills, the stars, the sun, the river so clear, the river so clear. Home, I am home. I found a place to heal my soul. It is right here. We are right here. Between the hills, the stars, the sun, the river so clear, the river so clear.
That was awesome. I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment. Let's all give some appreciation. I'm seeing a lot of applause. That was wonderful, Tarek.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
I really appreciate all the beautiful visions. And it's so interesting how these shows come together. Both you and Roxanne Ruby are down south.
Yep.
And you both have a very similar vibe.
I already messaged her. This is synchronicity.
Yeah. And it turned out I booked all of you without knowing each other. Jackie, our next presenter, also knew Roxanne from before. So it's interesting how this all kind of comes together. Tarek, what are you noticing being down there? What are some of the indigenous wisdom that is inspiring you that you're then passing on through your coaching and your support of others?
Yeah, to be honest, Scott, I feel disconnected from the indigenous peoples here because colonization happened all over the world and it's few tribes here and there. So the regular Costa Rican, just like when I was in Mexico, the regular Mexican, it breaks my heart to witness it because I know how it used to be and I can see like fast forward into the future, seeing how a lot of even myself having Middle Eastern blood, Lebanese, Palestinian, Syrian, I've lost my indigenous wisdom as well. So I haven't seen it. For me, I haven't experienced it as much as I'd like to. And ayahuasca told me to stop doing ayahuasca. So for me, it's more about the energies directly like to me, Costa Rica is a strong internet connection to Mother Earth. And I feel it's stronger here than anywhere else, especially up here in the mountains. So it's directly, and I guess in that way, you're also connecting to the indigenous, what the indigenous were connecting to now and then is direct access to Mother Earth and her wisdom and her rivers and yeah.
Beautiful. And I always love to hear what's a personal transformation for you that you've experienced with Mother Gaia's supports or through the inspiration of connection to nature?
Yeah, I remember it was Earth Day and I was in New Zealand at the time and I connected to Mother Earth and I said, like, what can I do for you? And it was the simplest answer. She's like, come hang out. Like, come just like climb the trees, which I always love doing, like lay down on the earth, let your feet touch the ground, like acknowledge me as a being. And I would love to deepen my connection with you. And then from that, I became more aware of when I'm buying products, are they ending up polluting Mother Earth? But it was very simple. It's just like, come hang out with me. Let's spend more time together. And from that relationship and connection, the wisdom, the support, the letting go of stress, the feeling safe, like all those things can happen when we directly connect.
That's beautiful. I do want our people to consider getting your coaching and your support. So would you be willing to share maybe a story of someone, and honestly, most of our audience are 50, 60 plus. Do you have any examples of people our age that you've worked with and kind of a beginning, middle, and end transformation story?
Yes, yes. Thank you for that. And half of my clients are that age bracket. So the universe seems to be connecting me and that group of people at that phase in their evolution. And Claire is a beautiful client that is a and my one of my women clients said, Tark, tell people you're a healer's healer, because I forget to say that. So a lot of my clients, old souls, priestesses, powerful star seeds, and amazing healers, and they have all the tools and all the techniques, but yet somehow when I show up, we're getting to those blind spots. So with Claire, high level healer, priestess, um, and she had a lot of tumors that she tried everything to eliminate. That's what she does for a living. She helps people with health. And through the infinity healing, after a few sessions, we eliminated half of those parasites, and the ones that remained were half the size. And I could just see her being more joyful and more lighter and more empowered and more hopeful. But when I first met her, she's like, I don't know if I'll make it. I don't know if I'll see you on our next session. So, and her partner were like kind of in a bickering thing, back and forth bickering. And literally after one couple session, the feedback they said was that they went from like bickering almost every day to like not bickering at all, because we got to we pinpointed the root trauma of what is being mirrored, and most couples keep mirroring ongoing, and there's a solution to that. You just pinpoint exactly what's at the root of that bickering, and when you alchemize it through inner child healing and forgiveness and taking your power back and a whole bunch of things I do in a session, then there's no longer charge. And it's been months since they haven't bickered, and I just spoke to her partner. I did a session with him recently, and he said they had one slip up, and now it's been months since they've done that. So I consider that a huge win.
Tarek, that's awesome. I mean, as a
Yeah.
coach, obviously I appreciate that.
Thanks.
So that's wonderful. And I mean saying Tarek, but it's Tarek.
Tarek, yeah, thanks. I appreciate the variations. Yeah, Tarek is the closest.
Okay.
Thanks.
I will remember that for the future.
Thanks,
Well,
Scott.
let's take a look at your website because it's beautiful. If you want to reach Tarek, and I've put this into the Zoom room, of course, but his website is infinityacademyhealing.com. infinityacademyhealing.com. I'll leave it up for a minute for our Facebook friends and YouTube friends to find it. And
For some reason, Scott, sorry, we just created this website. It's super brand new. No one's seen it as well. So for some reason, when you click in infinityacademyhealing.com, it goes somewhere weird. They're fixing that. So it has to be .com/home-page. So maybe easier to click. Yeah, I don't know why. But and oh yeah, so the best thing for you guys to do, if you would like, I just launched this every month for free, every 2 weeks. If you are wanting to get your life purpose, mission, and vision to 100%, if you'd like to get your abundance and prosperity in all its forms, including money, to 100%, or just double, triple, quadruple, 10x what you're receiving now, there's that button right there where it says join the free community, and I'll be dedicating 2 Zoom calls every single month, unconditionally, to support you with your mission, your purpose, and your abundance. And you can join for free. And I just packed it with a bunch of my music and my healing. I have 15 healing programs. I threw in like 5 of my best ones in there to help you for free. So it's all there to support you guys. It's my mission, and it's go time. It's time for us to really step up.
so everybody definitely click on that and register. It's free. Put down your names and email addresses like I just did.
And then you'll get a welcome email.
That is a really beautiful offering, Tarek.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you. That's quite lovely.
Thank you.
Last question for now, and of course we'll be back for the roundtable conversation. But what's giving you hope and inspiration given all that's going on in the world?
Yes. So there's a whole other side of me that's like the truth seeker, 15 years of diligent, intuitive research. And so when I pieced all the puzzle pieces, it was a lot to handle. But the truth is, we're remembering who we are. and truth is spreading like wildfire. And if we remember who, like a nation that remembers who it is, a people that remember who they are cannot be manipulated. And so by remembering the truth of who we are, the tactics that they were using that are outdated and the divide and conquer and the fear tactics, they just don't work anymore, right? Mm. So I feel that gives me hope. And when we remember who we are, and we remember where we came from, that's why I'm really big on teaching people how to do in-between life regressions and past life regressions, because when you realize you've been here for so many lifetimes, then the worst thing that can happen is we lose this lifetime and we go back to source or God. So from that place, I had a car accident 2 days ago. I literally almost died, and it just kicked my butt into gear. And I'm like, no more, like whatever I was slacking on or taking my time with has now just become it's go time energy, warrior up energy. And I feel that that gives me hope, is that people are stepping up, they're overriding fear. And Age of Aquarius, we're creating solutions and getting together, sharing resources, and we have all the solutions and resources we need. And what I bring to the table is the Aries energy activation to help us actually take inspired action and implement the things that we may be resisting. That seems to be one of the key things that I help people with. And with that, we are the solution for, let's say there's 100 problems on the planet. Each one of us, let's say there's 100 people here. Every single one of us has a solution for one of those problems. So we don't need to fix all the problems. We just need to creatively express what wants to come out of us. And that by default creates ripples out there. And so my biggest hope is that we leave with zero regret, meaning we played the game to the fullest. We knew it was a game, but we played it to the fullest and zero regrets.
Beautiful. Well, you're inspiring me, Tarek.
I'm glad, Scott.
Yeah, I'm really glad you're with us.
Thank
you. We will see a little bit more of you in just a few minutes.
All right, bless your heart. Thank you.
Conversation. All right, see you in a bit. Well, as those of you that are regulars know, Omashar and I were at the Evolutionary Leaders Circle Retreat in Santa Fe. And our last two shows, in fact, last Wednesday and Saturday, came from Santa Fe. And while we were there, of course, we were with all these wonderful colleagues of ours. And what's always fun about the retreats is seeing old friends and also meeting new friends. And one of the people that both Omashar and I most enjoyed meeting is our next guest. And this is Jackie. And I forgot to ask you how to pronounce your last name. So share it with me once.
I say Nektel. No one knows how to say it or spell it, including me. So don't feel bad.
Okay, so this is Jackie Nektel, and she is our next presenter. And Jackie, like our first two presenters, is doing a lot of really wonderful things in the world. In fact, we had a little chat this morning about what to talk about. And she said, we could talk about this. I said, oh yeah, let's do that. And we can also talk about this. I said, oh, well, we definitely got to do that. And I also am involved in this. It's like, oh, I want to do that one too. So she is quite the Renaissance woman and doing a lot of really wonderful things. So I'm going to share a few of the things. She is an international speaker, facilitator, and transformational guide, very similar to our first two people. She's the co-founder of the Flow Consciousness Institute. This is where she's designed and facilitated experiences all around the world. And we're going to learn a little bit about that. She does events all over. We're going to talk about an upcoming event in Iceland. And like so many of the presenters that we have over the past 6 years, she's all about weaving science and spirituality into practical tools for personal and collective transformation. She serves on the boards of the Coherence Education and Source of Synergy Foundation. That's the parent company to the Evolutionary Leaders. And she advises mission-driven organizations. She also has a whole career as an autism specialist and educator. She developed Nurturing Resilience, an evidence-based program supporting nervous system regulation and emotional well-being in public schools. Think about how important that is. And Jackie, we have a lot of teachers and educators in our audience, so I know they're going to appreciate that a lot. Jackie is also developing frameworks in relational intelligence and community architecture, exploring how trust, belonging, and collaboration can be intentionally cultivated within organizations and communities. I apologize. At the heart of her work is a commitment to creating the conditions that help people and the systems that they build and to help them to flourish. Thank you, Jackie. Let's start with tell us a little bit about your work with autistic children because, um, boy, just in the last few years, our whole relationship to autism has changed quite a bit. And obviously, every year there's new understanding about autism. What are some of the things that you've helped develop for autistic children, and what would you like to share with our audience about that part of your life?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here with all of you, and so great to have been in person in Santa Fe with you and Omashar and everyone. So thank you again. I started working with children with autism a long time ago, and I just happened to have a gift in connecting with the most profoundly non-speaking children with pretty extreme behaviors, the kids who would scratch, punch, kick, have self-harming behaviors, and the kids that other people didn't really know what to do with, I seemed to be able to connect with. And I always had a sense that, it was meeting them in another realm, and I didn't really have the language for it, but that was the sense is meet them where they are and help them feel safe in order to come fully into this realm. And now we're seeing with the telepathy tapes, how many of you are familiar with the telepathy tapes? Oh, great. If you're not, I highly encourage listening to them because it's profound, not just what they're finding with autistic children, but it's shattering the materialist paradigm of what people believe about consciousness. And these children are so wonderful and gifted and brilliant. And so I found ways that I could work with them. And what I'm recognizing is it's largely around coherence. And people ask me what it is that I'm doing with these kids that, are seemingly out of control, running under the bus or smashing laptops, punching holes in the wall, and asking me what I'm doing with them. And I said, you're asking the wrong question. It's how I'm being. And how I'm being is I'm co-regulating them because I have a coherent nervous system, and my calm is acting as a tuning fork and training them into safety and feeling calm. And from there, it opens up their possibilities of sharing their gifts and to communicate and express themselves because they're not in fight or flight. And so a lot of it is telling their nervous system that they're safe. I just see someone posted about Andrew Freeman of Coherence Education, who's amazing. And yeah, they're just so incredibly brilliant, but we need to find ways to bring out the unique brilliance and genius of each child. And that's honestly what we should be doing in education. That's what Andrew is doing with Coherence Education. So
It's beautiful. One of the things we talked about when we were in Santa Fe together is kind of the challenge with the telepathy tapes is it does present those people who are autistic who are kind of able to communicate and connect in this magical, wonderful way. But of course, not every person is at that level. Not every autistic child is at that level. And you kind of reminded me of that because I think we all now are so associating telepathy tapes. It's like, oh, autistic child, are you going to the hill? Are you part of that whole thing? And obviously that's a false way of looking at it. And so I really appreciate that you're working with the ones that are really, really challenged and supporting, those that are having really, really significant difficulties, and thank you for that.
My pleasure. It's my absolute joy. And I think, it's interesting because I'm also, as you experienced, working to bring mind sight and blindfolded intuition and telepathy and these practices to children in schools. And in the same way that we all have these innate abilities, we all have access to these gifts, but we're not all tapping into them. So these are all abilities that are available to all of us, but we may not be accessing them. And so that's where I was saying the challenge for families listening to the telepathy tapes, it might give false hope that their child will, just by nature of their being, have access to that gift. And again, while we all do, not everyone is currently tapping into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell us now about the Flow Consciousness Institute.
Yeah, so I transitioned out of my work with autism back in 2013, and I ended up I lost my brother to an overdose, and I grew up in a family with a lot of addiction, and so I have committed myself from a very young age to my own healing path and excavating my psyche and working to find all of the patterns that I feel like I inherited in my lineage and to work to be the cycle breaker. From the time I was 14, I was reading Buddhist texts and psychology textbooks, studying the Bhagavad Gita, and really looking for a way out of my own suffering. And then after my brother passed, I ended up doing a solo trip around the world, which led me to a retreat in Australia, which profoundly changed my life. And a lot of it was non-dual teachings. It was quantum physics. It was a lot of mindfulness, guided hypnotic regression work, and all of these different tools were a quantum leap in my consciousness. And so I was actually invited to the Middle East to work with some families and their children and grandchildren with autism. And while I was there, I was sitting in the question of who am I beneath the layers of identity and egoic masks and ways that I was getting love, belonging, validation, worthiness, belonging in the world. And I came to know myself as love at the essence of who I am. And that sent me on a whole quest. And I sat with ayahuasca and I had a really profound experience, an embodied experience of myself as love, and had a full samadhi experience on my first sit. And this journey led to the creation of this psychospiritual framework that was moving through me, that I was calling flow. And it led me very synchronistically, divinely orchestrated, came into contact with my co-founder who was teaching the same things. And there was so much synergy and alignment that we ended up co-creating this whole methodology. And it's rooted in psychology, neuroscience, quantum physics, ancient wisdom, and really creating practical tools for healing at the mental, emotional, energetic, and physical level, as well as learning to develop and tap into higher levels of intuition. And so he and I were teaching that around the world for 8 years and have students in 50 countries. And it's really a beautiful, beautiful journey that I wasn't seeking, and it just kind of found me.
Wow. There's some comments coming in I want to read from our audience. Susan Blomkhorst writes, Jackie is so self-aware and articulate. Thank you for your sharing. Dia Therese writes, Jackie, are you familiar with Sunrise and Option Institute in Massachusetts? She continues on, I spent 3 years with Raoul Kaufman and his parents, Bear and Samaria. Are you familiar with them by any chance?
I'm on their mailing list. I have been for a very long time, and I've been curious about it. I've never explored it though. I've not had any calls with them or met with them, but it felt resonant. So yeah, I'd be curious to learn more.
Oh, beautiful. Well, there's a fun connection for you to follow up on. And she just continues on thanking you for your commitment. Big love to you from Dia Therese, who's one of our most beloved regulars. Tell us about what's happening in Iceland.
So back in January, I was invited on this incredible journey in Egypt to scout the solar eclipse. There's a group that's putting on an event for the total solar eclipse in Egypt next summer. So I was brought onto the team to help co-create and curate this event in Egypt. But they're also doing one this summer in Iceland. Has anyone experienced totality? I have witnessed a full solar eclipse. I saw Gerald had a hand up. I don't know if anyone else has, but it's amazing. It's one of the most awe-inspiring, incredible celestial events. And in Iceland this summer, there's going to be 2 minutes of totality. And so I am working with the team that's putting together this Iceland Eclipse Festival. I'm going to be giving a workshop there, and as well as they're doing a month-long innovation lab and artist residency called The Portal, which I'm really excited about that. So leading up to the gathering, they're bringing together 50 people from around the world, different astronauts, artists, scientists, creatives, innovators, and really creating the conditions for emergence to see what happens when diverse groups of people come together under these circumstances, and particularly under this celestial event in beautiful places in nature or ancient sites, to see what ideas can be created and collaborations are possible, and what can be co-created for the future of humanity. Like Roxy was saying, for the world that we know in our hearts is possible. How do we learn to come together and collaborate and co-create with our diverse perspectives? And so what I'm really excited about for this, in particular, I'm going to be acting as the coherence keeper, or one of the coherence keepers of the portal. But I've been working on all of these new relational intelligence frameworks for how do we create in these kind of temporary situations. We're only going to be together for a month. How do we create rapid trust, belonging, safety, and coherence in this group? And what I've been thinking about over the last 10 to 15 years, as I've been working with a number of different communities around the world, is, and coming from my background working with neurodiverse people, is how do we make the invisible visible? How do we make the operating system for each of us evident so that we know how to navigate each other better? And how do we track these things that are mostly silent, that are causing friction in the field, and make it more explicit? And so bringing tools to bring people into deeper awareness, both of them themselves, because a lot of people don't inherently have that attunement to themselves, but then to others in the field and as a collective. And so tracking their capacity, giving skills for how to communicate and how to repair in conflict, and the things that, again, it's, and this is why I'm teaching nervous system and emotional regulation in schools. It's like, why don't we learn these skills? These are the most profoundly useful tools, and we usually have to figure it out the hard way. So why don't we teach people how to navigate each other in a healthier way? And so if everyone knows, what your boundaries are, because it's explicit. We have developing maybe some technology and infrastructure so that people can have all of this made visible. Like, how are you when you're triggered? What are your needs? Do you shut down? Do you withdraw? Do you need connection? What are the things? Because we make assumptions about what someone else might want or need based on what we would want or need. And often that's not the case, and it creates unnecessary friction. So if we can make the implicit explicit, and this is all a hypothesis at this point, I feel like it would ease a lot of the friction and bring more connection and coherence to the group. And one of the things I'm working on is a capacity tracker. And so sharing, where we're at every day and checking in. And so if your capacity is at a 2, then other people know today's not the day to have a difficult conversation. Today's not the day to do a design sprint, and you have an opportunity to make an ask of what you would need. And maybe it's space, maybe it's connection, maybe it's something else, but we get to speak the thing so there aren't stories made up, people don't take things personally, that we get our needs met in a more efficient and effective way. So I'm excited to prototype some of this in Iceland this summer and see what happens.
I love that capacity checker. That is brilliant.
Well, and it also would map the collective because, as someone who is attuned to reading the group field, not everyone is aware of that. And as someone who designs experiences, I imagine some of you here are attuned to that, but reading the room and knowing what the group needs. And this is a way, again, that if the invisible is made visible, if people are checking in and we read the collective capacity and the group is low resourced, maybe we pivot. Maybe it's not a day to be in creation, it's a day to get out in nature. Or conversely, if the group is really resourced and at an 8, then it's a day to go and do the design sprint or get some really good work done. So just having tools to create this invisible architecture of belonging and trust and deepening the ways that people can relate and engage with each other.
It's brilliant. Thank you for that. Everything you're sharing, our audience is really loving you. I'm really appreciating you. I make my living as a coach, and the very first question I ask, once we say hi, hello, I don't ask, hi, how are you? I ask, hey, how well resourced are you? What's your emotional state right now? What's your energetic state? And I really encourage my clients at the very beginning to let me know that. So exactly like you said, I know who I need to be extra tender with, who to go slow with, what the capacity is for, in-depth conversation and challenging topics. So, there's nervous system regulation, and there's also just really checking on how well resourced we are in any moment. So I love that you're doing that. There's some comments I want to read, and then we're going to move forward for a little bit. Also, I never got a website from you, Jackie, that you would want me to pull up. So whatever website you want me to go to, put that in while I read a couple of the comments from the chat box. Karen S., by the way, saw an eclipse, so I want to acknowledge that. Carol Craig brings up that our friends with the Hula Movement are doing a trip to Iceland as well. And our friend Tarek brought up this website. So if people want more information about the upcoming...
That's the Icelandic version.
That's the Icelandic version, exactly.
Icelandeclipse.com.
Okay, so icelandeclipse.com is kind of for us as well. And I'll put that in as well. And my gosh, what an amazing thing. Charlotte LaFranc writes, such wonderful sharing from all of our guests. Jackie, this is so resonant and inspiring. I am definitely on your wavelength, sister. So you've got a new friend here. And Susan brought up that attuning to our needs helps people to communicate authentically. Absolutely. And that earlier generations were not taught to attend or be aware of their needs or how well resourced they are. And thank you, Ayada. Ayada writes that she appreciates the articulation of checking in. How different our world would be if we made this a standard practice in education, healthcare, work environments, etc. Here I'm going to go to the other website, icelandeclipse.com, and let me pull that up so you all can see
We're
it.
also doing Egypt next summer, and it'll be a 6-minute totality, and then New Zealand the following year. So it's a whole pilgrimage.
Amazing, amazing. So here, wouldn't you like to travel with this person, whether it's to Iceland or Egypt? Imagine the education, and she'll be checking in to see how well resourced you are. So, Jackie, I definitely would love to have you back on the show as we get closer to some of those other tours and trips. And take a 10-minute break. We're going to have some Global Peace Tribe announcements and an Omashar song, and then we're back with you and Roxanne and Tarek for our roundtable conversation. Thank you. All right, well, we have some fun announcements to make, and I'm hoping that Omashar will work with me on this first one, which is, of course, it is World Unity Week. I'd love for any of you to pop in the chat box which Week events you've participated in, how it's been for you. And there's one I really want to highlight, and that is this Saturday. No, not our show. Of course, I want you to come to our show. But earlier in the afternoon, our beloved Omashar is going to be doing this live event, Accessing the Sacred Heart Through Shared Presence and Music. Omashar, tell us about it.
So yeah, worldunityweek.org. Every day there's some amazing presentations. I've gone to about half a dozen so far. Just phenomenal. And everybody a couple of months ago put forth what they would like to share, and what I felt to share was up to an hour. I actually put in 40 minutes, but for some reason they've put me up for an hour, so I'm up to it. And it'll be meditation and presence and quotes, all dotted with my music. And so we're just going to create a conscious space with each other in which we can digest all that's happened with World Unity Week, because a lot of it is pretty heady, even though it's absolutely amazing what's going on. I was on two today, World Unity Week sharings, and I'll be on 2 tomorrow, including our beloved Maureen Edwardson, who's on in the afternoon, sharing with her in a resonant technology program. It's just an amazing gathering of luminaries from around the world through all different time zones. So come and join me. It's free. Actually, on the bottom of that poster, is the Zoom room. But if you go to worldunityweek.org, ORG, you can register. It's all for free, and they'll give you the Zoom room link. Or you can watch on World Unity Week on YouTube or unitytv.earth. However, come into the Zoom room because I want to feel us all there. I think I've said it, Scott.
Beautiful. Maybe pop a couple of those links in the chat box, Omashar.
Okay.
And one other Unity Week that we've got to share with all of you. We love to dance with Summer Joy and with Heather Elizabeth. And they're going to be doing a dancing event at 5:30 Pacific time, 8:30 Eastern on Friday night. 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Let's all dance with Summer Joy and Heather Elizabeth. And again, that's happening in room 1. So definitely want to remind you of all that. And then our Awakening World show on Saturday night will be another part of World Unity Week, but our regular Saturday night Zoom room, Cornflower will be with us. So we will have Cornflower, and that's going to be really, really fun. And of course, Omashar. And so we definitely want to make sure that you join us for that. And last announcement, and then we're going to go to Reverend Jeffrey. So Reverend Jeffrey, get ready, because we're going to go to you in a moment. But want to remind you that this Saturday night, June 28th, we're going to have a very special Sacred Sunday show. And a lot of your favorite people are going to be a part of it. It's going to be Tatiana Speed and Rama and Alexander. You remember them? They travel all over the world. And so they've put together a special show. We're going to be collaborating with Rama and Alexander, Tatiana, and the Visioneers, Jerry Schwartz. Now, you might recall the Visioneers. We had Jerry and her husband on maybe a year ago. And since then, her husband has passed away. Um, and so we're going to be honoring Jerry. And we're also going to be honoring the memory of Jean Houston. Here's our poster. If you take a look in the upper left-hand corner, there's Rama and Alexander with Jean Houston. They were all beloved friends. Um, and so we'll have Omashar with us, Tatiana. It's such a big event that I'm actually going to co-host. We've asked Julie Kroll to come co-host with us. And then all those other people you see, many of them are going to provide musical offerings. So it's going to be a very, very wonderful, sacred Sunday show this Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, uh, 12 noon Eastern. So put in your calendars, and I will send out an email with that Zoom room link so you'll be able to get it. I'll also pop it into the chat box in a few minutes. So we've got a lot going on. Unity Week, Omashar's events, Friday night dancing, Saturday afternoon with Omashar again, and then our show Saturday night and Sacred Sunday show on Sunday morning. All right, we have a special birthday. And so I'm going to put the spotlight on our beloved Reverend Jeffrey Colebrook to introduce us to the birthday girl.
Oh, yes. Well, it's such an honor to celebrate another 80-year-old, and she's a dear friend from our Unity Church in Syracuse, New York. I've known her since we were kids, and knew her husband well, who's passed recently, and been part of my spiritual life and growth. And when you get a chance to bring a friend down and celebrate their 80th in my delightful garden, which people come here and they walk in, they go, they have instant peace, because I've had so much fun loving the garden and being a gardener and sharing that with nature. So this is Janine Crawford, and she came down to celebrate her life with me, and I'm so honored to have her here. And of course, she's been a member here at the Global Peace Tribe for nine months.
About 9 months.
And so it's nice that always share a birthday in our community.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, Janine.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
A tradition that we have in the Global Peace Tribe is for you, when people are having their birthday, to share with us your vision for this next cycle around the sun. What's the vision we can hold for you?
Well, I consider myself a light worker, a light weaver, so I envision myself bringing more and more light into the world and spreading it out to the various communities and planet Earth. And Jeffrey has this beautiful garden. I love to come to visit. He puts so much love into his garden that you can feel the energy. And so that's another thing we both appreciate nature, and more and more I envision that more and more people will be conscious of the connection that connects us all as we are all one.
Beautiful. Well, we're going to hold that vision for you. Thank you, Jeffrey, for bringing her on and for honoring and celebrating her, and for your beautiful garden. So maximum grace for radiant health for both of you, and a garden that continues to grow. And thank you, both of you, for your support to our awakening world, not just the show, but the planet itself.
So appreciate you, my brother Scott. Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I think we have a show coming up soon together, don't we?
Oh, yes, we do. We're doing an Ernest Holmes around and music about peace. We're going to be bringing the power of that community to bring more peace into the world, and bring what they're doing to make that a manifest reality as we all create the new world we want to see. Yeah.
Great. Well, it's going to be
more
a fun
peace.
show.
Can't get enough peace.
Can't get enough peace. That's why we are the Global Peace Tribe.
There we are.
Thank you, Janine. Thank you, Jeffrey. And we are now going to go to our mid-show song, although we're a little bit past mid-show. Here is Omashar.
We are gathered in this nation, raising frequency, raising vibration. Gathered in this nation, raising frequency, raising vibration. Hearts are open, hands together, loving each other, sisters and brothers. What we are is light in form. A light in form will lift us all. So don't give up on walking tall. The time is now, so heed the call and wake up to the light of this new day. Because we are the heart of our world, the light in our world. Joy in our world, the love in our world, showing our colors, rainbow nation, higher frequency, higher vibration, minds are open, love is flowing, lifting each other. Yes, we are growing, 'cause what we are is light in form, and light in form will lift us all. So don't give up on walking tall. The time is now, so heed the call and wake up to the light of this new day. Love in our world. We are the heart of our world, the light in our world. We are the joy in our world, the love in our world. Finished. No.
But it's never finished, my friend. We are always evolving and moving forward, even in the next realm.
I know, brother. It's so true. And I get who's hang on a minute, I gotta mute somebody. Hey. Yes. I get some of these songs, there's so much happening, but I get lost in it all and I go, I think we should finish now. No.
Well, it's that psychedelic background. I mean,
I know, I think that's
it
what
knocks me out of my body.
I think that's what's did it. There we go. Whew.
Hey, aren't our three prisoners tonight inspirational?
Not unbelievable, totally believable, because we attract that which we are, and they are phenomenal. They really are. And I just buzzed just on the eloquence, let alone what they're presenting. And it really is truly phenomenal. And whilst before I go off planet, completely. I just want to bring into the focus, and to those watching on Facebook and YouTube, Nicole Gibson from Australia. Just Google her. She's on Instagram or WhatsApp, and she has an amazing platform. She's you wouldn't believe what she's doing in the world. She's I think she's about 28, 29, and she's just been given an award by Dubai for the youngest entrepreneur bringing consciousness and humanity and neuroscience and science all together. And so she has an app called In Truth, and it's www.intruth.io. Just worth going in there and having a look. It totally segues with what Jackie was saying and what she was wanting to bring. And I'm thinking, rather than all of us recreate the wheel, we are about connecting people in this show, and through all of the amazing groups that are happening, because now the choir is all the individual choirs around the world are starting to actually sing in harmonies with each other, but we have to know about each other. So I did put it in the chat, Carol. However, you need to go back up a little bit. All I got was IO. In Truth, INTRUTH.io.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for putting that in there. All right, we are going to bring up our presenters and kind of go into roundtable conversation time. Jackie is having to restart her computer, so she'll be with us in a moment. And here is Tarek. There we go. And let me bring on Roxanne. And oh, good, here comes Jackie. And this is where, hey, everybody, if you've got thoughts, comments, questions, now is the time to ask our wonderful presenters. And Jackie, we see you. You look great. Just turn your iPhone this way so we can get the full you, if that's okay. That's correct. There we go. We're also inspired. God bless all three of you. The three of you are just such beautiful representatives of exactly what the show title was. You are all truly new generation leaders for this awakening world. So this is where we get to learn a little bit more about all of you, get some more questions answered, and feel free if any of you have questions for each other. I can imagine all three of you could probably sit down around the fire in Costa Rica or Guatemala or one of the magical places where you guys are, Iceland, and have quite the conversation. So it's always kind of fun to see what different presenters want to ask each other. So feel free to jump in with that.
I have a question about autism. I did listen to that podcast that basically my way of interpreting, what was the podcast thing called again?
The telepathy tapes?
The telepathy tape. So my interpretation of it is like when we're talking to autistic kids and saying, why aren't you speaking properly or whatever? And from their perspective, it's like that's so backwards to talk using words because they're telepathic, and that they're able to go to this place in the astral realm and kind of like upgrade their skills. So if that's accurate how I interpreted it, and they're just more evolved and they look at us as like a step backwards, then how do, because instead of us primitively telling them they need to do it the way we do it, what's the easiest way for us to learn from them to get back to telepathic communication, tapping into these special places in the dream state and downloading wisdom and skills? Jackie.
Apologies to everyone. Our frequency was too high. It literally broke my computer. So I'm here now on my phone. It's a tricky question because I don't know. Some people say that it's an evolution. I work with kids who present with real challenges as well. And so it's easy to just look at the telepathy tapes and again, have this perception that any non-speaking autistic child is meeting on the hill. And maybe they are, maybe they're not, we don't know. What I think is important is in what you're saying is how do we nurture and create space for everyone's unique genius and way of expressing it to be available and online, and finding ways instead of forcing people to fit into different boxes. How do we find ways to enhance and elicit their abilities and their gifts and the unique brilliance that each of us carries? And I agree, you know, and that's why I'm also teaching mindsight and working with blindfolded intuition and helping people tap into these other innate abilities, because again, they're all available to all of us, and we just forgot, and you know, have things in the way of utilizing those gifts and abilities. And so yeah, I don't know if that's answering your question, but I think as a more general way of looking at it is how do we as humans, and for all kids and all adults, like how do we work to find and enhance and elicit the unique individual brilliance and gifts so that we can be in our fullest expression?
Thank you.
Mhm. I've got
Hey,
a
Jackie, I also have a question for you. I feel like this coherence piece is just so relevant for everyone. And especially right now, while we're being bombarded with so much stimulation and such a proclivity towards conflict, both on a personal level and a global scale. And so just like, if you were to give us an insight into how you reach coherence and kind of like a entry level, something that we can go home with for how to bring more coherence into our day to day. I feel like that'd be useful.
Beautiful. Well, I mean, I can share kind of what I do, and it's really just giving space for what's arising in my field and in my nervous system. And so, and a lot of the comments that I saw were speaking to that the generations that are present in this room were not taught this, and neither are our generations really, until it's just starting now, to really allow for our feelings. The neuroscience shows that emotions cycle through in 90 seconds if we allow them, and we can fully move through it. And I know, Roxy, you have a child, and for anyone that has a child or children or grandkids or has been around children, you see they're angry 1 minute, they're crying the next, they're laughing the next, and they just move through and cycle through these different emotional states. And we can and should do that, and just give ourselves the space to feel and be with what's arising and what's present. And so, as like the very basic step one, just being present, allowing what's there. And then you know, I if everyone had the ability to trace back what is the origin, like what is creating this, you know, when we get triggered, instead of making the other person wrong or bad or blaming, looking within, because if we're triggered, it's something that's being activated within us that's causing the disturbance in our piece and our field. And so when we have the tools, when we get triggered, it's an opportunity. I get excited when I'm triggered because I know there's a new level that I can get to once I move through whatever expression of sadness, of grief, of anger, of shame, or whatever is coming up for me. The willingness to go into those feelings unlocks the equal and opposite expression of joy, of passion, of freedom, of vibrancy and aliveness on the other side. And so I think using the trigger as the entry point into the origin of this wound or pattern, and looking to trace it back to the roots so that we can ultimately pull it up and weed the garden and pull out all of the things that are creating the turbulence in our field. And yeah, someone just, as Susan said, triggers are treasures. Absolutely. And when we really look at it like that, it's like, what is wanting to be revealed, what is wanting to just be witnessed. It's just our inner child that, is wanting to express something. And so giving it the space, giving it the love, the compassion, the care, and the time and attention to really look at what's coming up for us so that we can move through it. Because every little grain of sand of friction, or the big giant boulders of trauma and imprints and wounding that we move through and clear, we create more space in our nervous system, more capacity in our field. And that opens to our intuition, to our higher abilities, and just to being more coherent. And then in training others into that, because then we get to be the tuning fork that sets the other tuning forks to that field, and we bring each other and train each other into this collective field of coherence. I can't see anyone's comments because I see them flashing, but on my phone, I'm trying to get
There's
back
some
on
wonderful
my
comments.
computer.
I'll cover a little bit. Debbie has a question for Tarek. Wondering for myself, I don't seem to be wanting to give myself the time of day. This is what I realized. Is there truth to that? Or what could be another perspective of that? And then she adds, in the sense of not really wanting to go within, to sit in silence and to allow. And I think all of us sometimes have resistance to that level of self-reflection. Tarek, anything you'd like to address with that?
Yeah, I asked her for clarification on the question. I'm not really fully understanding it, but my best bet, if I would just intuit,
Can I
is
say
yes,
something?
yes, there you are.
I- while it may be a vague question, the very truth of it is that often what runs in the back is I sort of feel frustrated, but I really I'm ready to leave the planet.
Yes,
I'm ready to go home,
yes,
and it's a really strong feeling.
yes.
And I'd like to understand it or acclimate it in some way, because I'm not quite ready to go yet. I have another
Yes.
15 years or so.
Yes.
So I feel more gentle about this time on Earth, but I also have a lot of friction with it as well.
Totally get it. I totally get it. This planet, my perspective is not rosy colored at all. It's the densest experience anyone can choose from my research. It's very hard. It's very tough. It's very different than what our soul remembers, probably from previous realities, existences, lifetimes. So if you are choosing to be, I'm big on sovereignty. So and my perspective on leaving this reality is very simple. It's like switching the game that you're playing off and just like going back to reality. But if you are, so it's really important we sit with, if I am going to stay in this reality, what's my big why, and really take time to dive deep into what that why is. Not from a place of obligation or all these matrixy traps, like you have to learn lessons, you need to clear karma, but like more from like, do I feel like when my time comes, like I almost died at 25 and I almost died 2 days ago as well. When my time comes, will I regret not doing anything? Is there something like, is there anything that you feel you'd like to accomplish or be or do before leaving, so that when your time comes, you feel complete? Whether that's clearing up stuff from the past and ancestral karma, whether it's sharing your gifts or creating something, leaving something for those that come after us. When that why is there, it gets you out of bed every day, gets you excited to be here. And then that why can, like, no matter what life throws at you, your why is so strong that you don't let those things stop you from moving forward.
I feel I have the capability of what you say, right? The idea of being peaceful. I think of it like the idea of being a monk, that you're just there. Nothing on the outside can create chaos unless I invite it in. I feel I'm very capable of that. But I also feel, on the other hand, I'm not really sure why I'm here. I'm happy to share my wisdom that I do know. I'm very happy to help. But I also feel I have no regrets. I made a point of not regretting. If I didn't do it, that's that.
Yeah.
So I'm it's a really paradox of things that
Yeah.
I'm in no hurry to take my own life to leave the planet. I'm okay to stay, yet this strong feeling of wanting to go. And is it just a monkey mind thing, or do I truly really, okay, I'm good to go. There's nobody I want to see.
Yeah.
There's nothing I really want to do. It's a strange time for me.
I totally get it. I would sit with both options because the answer is going to come from within your being. And if you tune into the option A and you follow through with it, tune into how that feels, that you're complete and you're ready to go back home. And then the second option of staying here and dealing with the good and the not so good that will be coming our way, like tune into that option and see how that feels, and take your time to sit with those options. But it's good to know that we have the options.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Great question, and it's a tough one.
Yeah, and thank you for your vulnerability and sharing that, Debbie. Thank you. I've got a question for Roxanne. Going to go to you for a moment. Looking at your website, your current season, you're raising money for the Guatemalan Midwife Project to build a new birthing center. And I'm hoping that some of our people are going to be joining. So I thought it would be wonderful for you to share a little bit more about this particular project.
Yeah, absolutely. It's called Casa Tortuga. It is in Santa Lucia, which is a small village outside of Lago Atitlan. Just out of curiosity, has anyone spent time in Lago Atitlan, Guatemala? It's a very special place. It's a lake that unfortunately now is quite polluted, but it is a sacred site. And it's at the foot of a volcano, and it's known as the umbilical waters of the world. So they look at the lake in their mythos and their cosmovision as like a womb, an umbilical space where life comes into this realm. And the lineage of midwives that exists within the indigenous culture around the lake are safeguarding this knowledge. And they've been hosting all kinds of global citizens that pass through and sharing their knowledge generously. They travel around the world, also bringing it to different spaces and teaching about womb wisdom and birthing and conscious conception and prenatal and postnatal care. As I mentioned, they're really integrated into every step of the way. And now they're raising money to create Casa Tortuga, which is this birthing temple where women and families will be able to come, both local families as well as international families, to come and give birth there in Santa Lucia in this beautiful temple, which they're building right now with the money that we're donating. They're able to do the earthwork. So they're actually building this temple into the earth. So it'll be like a womb in the mother of Pachamama. And they're going to build this beautiful, from above, it looks like a turtle. It has this main chamber and then 4 chambers on either side and kind of like a head and a tail. And there's a temescal, which is a traditional sweat, not a sweat lodge per se, but like a sweat house. I guess it's like a sweat lodge, but made of stone, different from the Native American inipi. The temescal is more local to Central America. And it's a traditional sweat ceremony of going in with hot stones and experiencing that sacred act of sweat. And they offer this to laboring mothers to go into the womb, which Casa Tortuga itself is like a womb in the womb of the earth. And then there will also be the Temescal, which for anyone that's participated in any kind of sweat ceremony, particularly of the Americas, it's really corresponding to the womb and to a rebirth. And so it will be a beautiful gift for birthing, laboring mothers to get to go in and be in the warmth and really melt and soften and open. And then they have a few different birthing chambers, and they'll be able to come there, be nourished, be with their family, and also stay for postpartum, for maybe a week or so. Maybe less, maybe more, depending on the mother and then the family and the baby. But they'll be able to be there and be fed, and they do different postpartum treatments, to the extent of which I'm not completely aware because I've only begun my path of study with this lineage. But the temple is really needed. They're just working out of homes and spaces, and it's going to be such a gift for them to have a cultural center for them to carry this tradition on. And I'm really excited to birth this project through birthing a birth temple.
Roxanne, thank you so much. And quick question from Jerry Anderson. He says, if I remember correctly, there are 12 villages around the lake, each named after a disciple.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
That's like the Christian names. Yeah. Like they all have also still, most of them, as I understand it, they still have their indigenous languages. And so they speak, for example, like our relatives in San Marcos they speak Spanish, and then they also still speak their indigenous tongue. So the cosmovision, the language, the culture of the indigenous Guatemalan people is very much alive, obviously with layers of colonization on top of it. But it's beautiful that especially this tradition of midwifery has been kept in the way it has.
Oh, thank you so much. Are there any other questions that any of you have for each other? And while you're thinking, if there are, I'm going to kind of scan and see if there's anything new that's coming to our chat box. Dear Therese, thank you for your beautiful appreciation. Thank you for that so very much. Debbie
I have a
again.
question for Roxanne.
Okay.
Have you heard of microloans like Kiva?
Tell me more.
Kiva is like a website where everyone becomes a bank for projects like the one you were talking about. And it's a little different, but you can just check it out because their model it's like tons of people are donating a little bit, but you can see each project visually. It's just, I think it'll inspire some creative juices. You see the project, so you choose the ones that you're most connected to. So if it's an all women thing or indigenous rights, or you choose which project where in the world, and then it shows you how much has been raised. So it kind of gamifies it a little bit more, like, oh, if I just add a bit more, we'll complete this project. But what makes it different, and this doesn't have to resonate with you, it's micro loans, meaning we all pitch in 20, 50, 100. So one other thing about your website, I was wondering, it's kind of capped at that 22, but usually when I donate, I want to give like 100 in one go rather than monthly. So I'm wondering if there's flexibility with that where you can open it up so people can give more. And then the second part was the microloans is we donate to these third world countries and indigenous groups, but then they actually pay it back, but like just over time. That's their model. And I just thought Kiva popped into my awareness.
Yeah, pop the website into the chat. I'm super interested to check it out. And yeah, one thing we're exploring right now, there is an option rather than a monthly membership to just pay an annual membership fee, which is like $250. And then that way you also save a little bit. It seems like most people involved in the project at this point are not like trying to save money. Like they're excited to let this be an outlet to support and not donate like an exorbitant amount, but feel like their money is going to something that is literally at this point being 100x due to the size of the collective.
Amazing.
But we have a managing council, so essentially like similar to a board of 13 members that are like our advisory council. And one thing that they've been excited about after seeing the success of this first season is patronage. And similar to what you're saying, creating a space separate from the school platform and the membership and the collective, which is really the whole point, like to prove that we can all make a small difference. And whether it's money or whether it's also just like buying organic food or turning off our light switch or knowing where our water comes from or supporting the local bookstore instead of Amazon. Like we can make these little changes every day that eventually do add up. And I think a lot of us really can be overwhelmed with feeling like our choices don't matter in the scheme of things. And so that's really what the initiative is about. However, there's a lot of people with a lot of money that want to know where to put it. And so we're actually going to be, there's a whole website redesign happening right now, and we're going to be exploring patronage and exactly what you said. Like, here's the 12 projects that we're working with through the year, and here's the options of how to support and getting into much bigger numbers to be able to like fund the whole birthing center in one go, you know, and that sort of thing. So soon coming.
Right. And you know what I haven't seen in ever is like an online course where we get to learn from indigenous cultures. Like it feels like a big disconnect, right? And we're in the age of information. Everyone wants to learn, but I feel like it will empower these projects where we act like they have value and they're teaching us, because we're like, in order to move forward, we need to go backwards and remember how things have been done. We're so disconnected from our roots and how our ancestors thrived in the past. So I feel like their wisdom now is like, or has always been, but it's like, it's time for their wisdom to be shared with more people. And I wonder if there's a way like people can invest in online courses where we get to learn some of their wisdom.
You know, one that I would recommend along those lines that I've been supporting for a long time is the Pachamama Foundation. They're doing great work. And the original founders literally had a vision to go down to Ecuador, where they found these people and bonded with them. And their whole thing is learning from our relatives, our beloveds in the South. And so Pachamama is a great organization that provides a lot of indigenous wisdom. And they also go down, they bring tours of people down to listen and learn from our indigenous elders down there. We've got,
There's a few organizations that are doing exquisite work in that realm, and we're definitely honored to bring in the guests that we have. There's also, I just feel called to mention it, there's an app for those that feel in capacity to find and download an amazing app. It's called Native Lands, and it's free, and it has a map, and then you can just pin yourself on the map. It's very simple, and it shows you the bioregional native indigenous people to the lands wherever you are. And so, and you can choose the pin, you can move the pin, but you can look and be like, okay, I'm in Southern California, and you can open up the app and see all of the indigenous people. And it's a really great way of creating relationship with place. For example, like what I like to do is learn who the people are and then just Google the people. Like, be like, okay, if I'm in this area and these are the people, then like, what do the Nisenan, what did they eat? What was their culture? What was their practices? And then you can learn like, oh, they ate acorns. And then all of a sudden you have a different relationship to the acorn trees that are all around you, you know, and you can like really build a relationship, you know. Same here in Costa Rica, as Tarek was saying, like for sure there's been so much colonization, but there are about 8 tribes that are like still very present. They just are pushed into pockets, you know, but their culture is alive. They have still like cultural practices, cultural recipes, cultural festivals. The first project we did actually was supporting a Costa Rican Indigenous festival. We raised $700 because it was pre-launch, but we provided half of their production budget. And they have some really amazing stories to tell. It just requires building that relationship, and it takes a little bit of more effort, but I find it to be very rewarding to make that connection with wherever we are.
It's a good reminder too that our dollars go a long way down there, a really long way. So there's a wonderful story about Lynn Twist, who's an amazing woman, and she's been on this show a few times. And she literally had the vision, found the tribe, and the tribe had also gotten the vision that people from the North were coming to connect with them. It's a beautiful story. If you could put into the chat box, Roxanne, the link to that app, I would love to have our audience, and I'm going to certainly get it. Jackie, welcome back. I know you've had some wonderful technical challenges, but thank you for coming back in again. And we didn't get a chance to show your website, so we're going to do that now as we're winding down. It is the flowconsciousnessinstitute.com, researching and developing cutting-edge tools for unlocking human potential. And I think we all have been very impressed with all three of you. You're such a beautiful, very eloquent, all of you are very eloquent. But anybody who wants to learn more about what Jackie's doing, go to flowconsciousnessinstitute.com, learn about the programs that they're doing. And is there any particular link or spot here on the website, Jackie, you'd like me to click on or point out?
So actually, we've kind of paused with flow consciousness for the moment. This is just kind of where my work has lived, and it's now evolving. And so hopefully in the coming weeks, I'll have my own website back up, which will be jackienechtel.com, which I'm trying to figure out how to weave all of the seemingly disparate aspects of myself into one website. But for now, I can be reached there or on social media. And I apologize again for the technical difficulties. My computer just doesn't want to work today. So thank you for your patience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's been wonderful having all three of you on this show. I hope you'll all join the Awakening World New Leaders Synergy Group. I'll send you guys information about that. And everybody, please support the Inheritance Collective and reach out to Jackie, Tarek, and Roxanne. All three of them are available, and we're very blessed to have all three of you on the show. Thank you very, very, very much. And one of the things that we do on our show is we feature a prayer time. And so I'm going to turn it over to Diara, if I can find her. If she comes back on, Diara. I know she had taken a little break there for a moment. Okay, well, what we are going to do is we're going to go to Omushar's final song, and then we'll find Diara. Take it away, brother.
Yes, I know that Diara's attending to something right now. And interesting that Roxanne brought up acorns, because when we were at the retreat in Santa Fe, a couple there came and they brought cake made from acorn flour. And the process that they went through to make the acorns into flour was a week-long process. So just interesting, that connection right there. And so what more can I be? What more can we be than who we truly are? And ain't that the truth, Scott?
Absolutely.
What more can I be than what I am? Though it's taken some time to clear these clouds from my eyes. So open your heart and dance along. I'm thinking it time to stop that same old song. I've come alive, so hear me now. I world around me, and I will hold her in my arms and lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. I lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. And lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. So don't try to hold me to what I was. I've traveled through time to see this day arise. The love that I am is here for you. So open the door and let the sun shine in. I've come alive, so hear me now. I am in love with the world around me, and I will hold her in my arms and lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. I lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. I lift her with my dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So open your heart and dance along. We're thinking it time to stop that same old song. We've come alive, so hear us now. We are in love with the world around us, and we will hold her in our arms and lift her with our dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. We'll lift her with our dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. We'll lift her with our dreaming. Ba-da-da-da. What more can I be than what I am?
Thank you so much, and blessings to our wonderful Global Peace Tribe dance team, Lynn, Diara, Eleanor, Joy, Bonnie, Lorna, Jerry, and Jeffrey. Thank you all so much. Beautiful, beautiful. And I'm glad to see that Diara is back with us. So it's always so scary when I'm ready to bring somebody up and then boom, they're not there. So thank you for coming back in time to be with us and to lead our prayer time.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone. It's been such a beautiful show. Oh, so inspiring. Bless the three of you for the work that you're doing. And we're actually going to be doing a show in August with Andrew and the Coherence Education and two other amazing people that are so in sync. And what you said, Omashar, about all the pieces coming together, it's so perfect. And soon we'll just be a vast network with no space in between. So with that being said, during this beautiful prayer time, we pray for protection and peace on all the peacemakers. We thank all our Indigenous brothers and sisters for holding the frequency, for walking the talk, for being those anchors on this beautiful earth, the connectors from the star seed, star people, here and now. We always bless our animals. We bless all the creatures of the earth. And we always remember to bless ourselves as well, to honor our beautiful bodies. So many bodies, minds, spirits going through this amazing transition, stretching us, stretching our capacities. And just breathe in the essence of love that's been co-created in this room tonight, sending this out beyond. And again, watching it come back, that toroidal field. And as we love to do, we send our love out to those in our hearts and our minds, to each other in the Zoom room. So in this moment, think of yourself and all those that you love and all those that you know needing this extra love and support. And we feel it beaming from our hands. It's palpable. It's that invisible becoming visibly anchored, felt, received. And breathing in, we expand that even wider, sending that out even wider, sending it up to those above and down to those below. And again, back in it comes. And so it is. Feeling that love expanding.
You're on mute, Scott.
Oh, and I had just given the winning lottery numbers. But I did want to give special love to our beloved Scotty Satori. So good to see Scotty in the Zoom room with us. And let's just take a minute for us to send maximum grace to anyone that we know of that's in need.
Our lovely
Maximum grace.
peace.
Aho, Ashe, Amen. May we carry this beautiful inspiration from tonight's presenters, this beautiful prayer, this love that we have as community. Let's take it out into the world. And I hope to see all of you on Unity Week, some of the upcoming events, definitely Omashar's events, and Dancing with Summer Joy. And of course, on Saturday night for the Awakening World, and on Sunday morning for our Sacred Sunday show. God bless each and every one of you. Take care, and we'll see you soon.